Movies. TMNT. Movies. Actually, the TMNT over there. Movies. TMNT. Movies. TMNT. Movies. Put them together. Mondo movies. Hello and welcome to another episode of TMNT Toy Throwback. As the title says, today we're going to have a look at Mondo movies. But what the hell does that even mean? That basically means the good movies, and I wanted to use the term like Mondo because it's really 80s turtle style. So get yourself some popcorn, buy some snacks, get a soda, and get ready for some movie goodness. TMNT figures. And we're going to start this off in chronological movie order. What that means, we're looking at the 1990 movie Ninja Turtles, released in 2014 by Playmates Toys as a part of their Classic Collection series. Basically, it's the Turtles in the movie version, bigger, better, and more articulated, as Playmates tried to tackle the collector's market with these guys. To be precise, this was the third and final wave of the Classic Collection, unfortunately, after Playmates kinda ran it into the ground. But I'm not here to talk about politics or whether or not people bought enough of them. I'm here to talk about the figures. That being said, it was really cool to see Playmates do more detailed and more articulated figures than they had before. The movie Turtles all stand around 17 centimeters, 7 inches tall, therefore are a lot bigger than your regular Playmates Turtles. While not entirely movie accurate, these guys still add a cool addition to your Ninja Turtles collection, and the molds, as we know from Playmates, look pretty damn good. As seen in the nicely battle-damaged shells, which unfortunately have been recycled for each turtle. I mean, every turtle has the exact same body sculpt with just a different head and the different belts. Paint-wise, there's not much to speak of, because let's be honest here, paint and Playmates don't go well together. At least if we're talking about recent Ninja Turtles figures, the one questionable choice is what they did with the shell. The lower part is all painted in a brown, even like a different tone over here to display where the shell starts and ends, but they did not do the same for the upper part, which makes the lower effort completely wasted. We did get holsters for all the weapons and a little bit of paint on the handles, however the weapons themselves all are in this pretty boring bland grayish plastic, which could have used a little bit of a metallic paint job to make it a bit more shiny. Now what I really like about these four turtles are the expressions on the faces. That's really what differentiates them the most, and that's something that Playmates just does a good job with. As I've already shown you at the beginning, they all came with their own turtle base with the name on it, which should be noted have been completely recycled from the previous released Turtles. As far as the articulation, this is definitely the best we've seen from Playmates so far. Ball joint in the head, you have a hinge that rotates at the shoulder, bicep swivel, double hinged elbow, and a ball hinge at the fist, and the excessive single finger articulation, which it is cool for posing, but if you want to hold your weapons, it's not a good idea. To be fair, the fingers are fairly stiff, but as a result of it, it's always a little bit cumbersome to get it in there, as you can see. Can also rotate them around at the torso. The legs are on hinges that rotate around. You have thigh swivel, which just breaks up the sculpt. Double hinge knees. And the foot is just on a hinge that you can rotate around. And we got some more articulation in the toes. Now, other than having the problematic hands to hold the weapons, the legs are also super loose, and therefore it can be sometimes a problem to pose these guys, unfortunately. So how do these guys stack up at the end? Lacking. I mean, if you want to look back at the movie Turtles that Playmates delivered in the 90s, you can definitely see a difference of how much love and effort went into this little guy, while these four brothers, they're the last breath of a dying line where Playmates just once again tried to recycle some more molds, tried to sell some more turtles when they should have just given us a shredder or a Krang or whatnot. In the end, they're still cool and I still like to have them, but it's nothing really that special. Wait. Did I just say the last four turtles were the last breath of a dying line? No, these guys are. Introducing the Classic Collection, even though the line had been cancelled, Secret of the Use movie turtles. So yeah, basically this face and this pose tell it all. This was Playmates being like, what the heck? We're just gonna take the movie turtles, give them a snazzy repaint and more accessories, and we're gonna do it again. And boom, a new line is born. So as established, these are the exact same turtle molds, just with different faces, and everything else just looks exactly the same. So what do you want from me? That's all you get for Secret of the Use turtles. What's really weird to me is that they decided to give all of the turtles a different color once again. For Mikey and Raph, you got the bright and the darker, so that's a lot more 2012 vibe. But for Leo and Donnie, you got a lot more of a vintage vibe. With Donnie's color going a bit more into the brownish and Leo just like straight up green, nothing special. But hey, at least you can make your Leo facepalm now to let everybody know how you feel about the situation. To be fair though, okay, let's dial it back 1 second. To be fair, they did, however, improve a little bit in the leg department, as the articulation points seem to be a bit stiffer and therefore better to pose. Not by a lot though, so I don't know if that, maybe I'm just lucky with mine and mine are just naturally a little bit better than the old ones, or maybe it's just because they're newer. Regardless of that, I want to show you the part what really got me into buying these and what's actually kind of cool. Accessories! Yep, that's all the stuff you got with the new turtles. The old turtles didn't have any of that. The old movie turtles just got the bases, their weapons, and that was it. But with these guys, oh my god, all of this, all the turtle hats. So yeah, this is what really made the Secret of the Use turtles special. All the new different faces with really exaggerated expressions, and also all of them had new bandanas. The bandanas always go in a different way, like flowing in the wind or just hanging off casually, but that's really the thing we have never seen from Playmates. They've never done different faces. I really wish they would have added also different hands, so I could actually use the weapons and have the other hands for posing purposes, but unfortunately they didn't think that far. What we did get instead are some more accessories, and you know why these are cool? Because they're all based on something from the movie, except for this one. This is like a trash can lid, or it's like a sewer lid, which I can hold as a shield. I'm not caring about this one. This is the mop that Donatello used to clean the apartment. These are the ninja sausages, the ninja nunchuck sausages, or I remember it in German right now, Ninja Kampfwürste. Because I watched that movie in German mostly. We have a pizza, just a sticker on it. We have a box of Simply Donuts, which has 2 donuts, but more importantly, you have the extra one where they put the anti-mutagen in to feed to Toka and Reza. And then you have a whole bunch of ninja stars. You have this thing, which I don't really know what it is, but once again, Donnie uses something like that at the beginning scene where they beat up the fox in that little mall area, or what do you want to call it. We have 2 TGRI ooze canisters, which is correct for the movie. It was called TGRI in the movie, even though it's TCRI in the comics. And I don't know why this one's all effed up. Sticker's not really good. But you have some ooze leaking out. Stay away from that one. And you have a whole bunch of ninja stars, because I don't know, it's just a bunch of turtle figures have ninja stars. I've never used any, but there you go. They're ninjas. The irony in these 4 turtles is baffling to me. The second Ninja Turtles movie, Secret of the Use, was a bit more kid-friendly. It was a bit more of a joke, which a lot of people say about these figures, that they're not more kid-friendly, but they're a bit more of a joke, as Playmates tried once again to jump on the recycling train and give us these bodies one more time with a different paint job. Credits, however, to all the accessories, which I could have done with the first try, but you know, gotta make more money. And in the end, I'm happy with the accessories. The repaints I could skip on, but whatever. Secret of the Use still is one of my favorite childhood movies. I had the VHS, guys. And as a kid, you don't have a lot of VHSs. I watched that movie a million times, so I had to get these guys. And regardless of that, let's just move on to the final one of the Mondo movies, the good movies. And finally, we got the NECA 9090 Movie Turtles, which, you know what? No. These figures are fantastic, and I already reviewed them in great detail, and also they're way too big for my review space. That's why we're hanging out in this corner of my room right now. But anyway, these figures are fantastic. But for the final spot on TMNT Toy Throwback Mondo Movies, we got... I'm talking, of course, about TMNT! And I mean TMNT, the movie, that one, which is just called TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, of course, they're all TMNT. Everything is TMNT, TMNT Toy Throwback. But this is Mondo Movies. I know some of you will look at that and be like, yeah, that movie wasn't good. I like that movie, alright? I like the TMNT movie. And I'll fight for that. So, regardless of that, we have 4 completely new designed turtles, which go hand in hand with the 2007 computer animated movie. And of course, the line was released the same year as the movie 2007. And it created kind of like a subline where we would get these turtles in a lot of different vehicles and robot suits and I don't know, like a bunch of different stuff, which made the TMNT franchise rise from the grave. Donnie's goggles. I think this is actually the first time we got Donnie's goggles for a figure, which have become more and more of a staple if I'm looking at like the not so good Michael Bay movies and like even the new series that comes out in 2018, they all have Donnie's goggles. 2007 brought a radical redesign to the Turtles, something we hadn't seen before. They are vastly more stylized and a lot slimmer because remember, no matter what version of the Turtles you look at, they were always pretty bulky, and these guys look a lot more fit. They reintroduced different skin colors, giving Donnie a lot more of a pale look, and for whatever reason, he has a very, very dark purple going on in his bandana. And he's also now rocking a simple belt without any shoulder strap going on. These guys are also a lot more reminiscent to the movie Turtles than a lot of other ones because they're all rocking the long colored bandanas along with the simple round knee pads, elbow pads, wristbands, and a belt also. There's nothing fancy going on overall. But it's definitely the design that sets these guys apart. Looking a lot more humanoid for the body type, we got exaggerated proportions with bigger hands and feet, while still retaining a pretty realistic looking shell for whatever reason. There are also some of the taller Playmates figures clocking in at 15 centimeters, around 6 inches tall. And while I do like the design for these guys, it does make for a little bit boring looking action figures. They are very faithful to the original movie design, but that might be the problem. The original movie had a lot of fight scenes in dark alleys, rain effects, and the film overall looked good, but there's nothing really going on with these guys. Really could have used some shading. That would probably make them pop a lot more. They all once again share the exact same body, which is pretty much a staple, a standard for Playmates TMNT figures. It's not really the problem. The problem with it is if you're adding little details like the exact same vein on both arms, and you reproduce that on every single figure with the exact same Y upside down Y vein over there and the other one on the right arm. So, you know, that stands out once again pretty weirdly. Now there are some improvements in the articulation compared to the old TMNT figures from before 2007, but there are also some problems and some dumb decisions. Starting off with the hat, which just has no room on this small ball, so really just real motion, and turns around. Hinges that you can rotate around is a standard at this point. We got the bicep swivel, we got one hinge, a simple hinge in the elbow. The problem with that is, here it starts, the elbow pad is so big it completely blocks the sculpt and it doesn't really go forward that much. The hand is on a swivel and completely breaks up the sculpt. The way the forearm is so flat, and they should have just probably made a floaty piece in there, but I guess we don't have the budget for that. Then we got, this is soft by the way, for whatever reason, I guess to make it feel more authentic. I don't mind it, but it doesn't really accomplish anything, and the same goes for the belt. It's one of these things, you could take the belt off, I think, but then you're just left with the line going around the turtle and it just making look weird. But a nice throwback to the old Turtles where you could always take off the belt if you want to and then lose it and then cry about it because you're a little kid. Yes, that happened. A hinge, which you can move around in the leg, and another simple hinge in the knee, which doesn't look good once again, and it's kind of blocked by the knee pad, so you can never completely straighten out his leg. Can you rotate this around? Not really. And there's nothing going on at the foot. As a result, I always have problems posing them in like a really dynamic pose with the legs because of the problem with the leg articulation. Would have liked an ankle rock or something. He does have the big feet, so it's not the worst, but I don't know. They never fully stand. It's really just like you have to lean it on one foot. And you know, one can stand out, so will still be in the pose, but you know, it's not the most reliable thing in the world. One thing I forget to mention is that all these turtles were rocking different eye colors, and that's the first time they've done that, as far as I can remember. It's barely noticeable though, except for Mike, of course, with the big blue eyes. But most importantly, these turtles proved one thing, that even in 2007, TMNT was not dead, and the franchise could be revived shortly with a movie. I say shortly because unfortunately they were building up for more, which never really crystallized, and we had to wait till 2012 where TMNT would continue. As far as redesign goes, I already mentioned how I like these guys, and even though it's something a little bit more out of the box, I think it's something that a lot of people were not a fan of, it still contains the old school turtle flair, and it doesn't F up too much, which we're gonna have a look at once we get to the bad movies. Ugh. So what's the lesson to be learned for today? Well, one of them is something I keep repeating, is that TMNT keep coming back. They've proven it multiple times with comic books and TV shows, but the movie theaters aren't safe from these four brothers as well. So there will always be a lot of good, bad, and even cringy stuff. But let's not forget that for every good TMNT movie, there seems to be a bad one. And with the good out of the way, I'm just setting myself up for failure. So let's celebrate the good one more time with the first, the second, and the fourth movie. Nothing else matters. So yeah, that's gonna conclude Mondo movie, the good movies. We're gonna have a look at the bad sometime in the future. I'm dreading the day of that happening. But for now, as usual guys, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoy TMNT Toy Throwback, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure videos, gameplay stuff, and whatever the TMNT want.